What makes a rugby club great? Some would say it's the number of wins, others, the caliber of the roster. For the Fairfield women's rugby team, its greatness comes from its legacy. For 25 years, the women's rugby team on North Benson Road has grown from the early days of a student-run team to a nationally ranked powerhouse, thanks to the scores of women who spent years laying out their heart and their competitors on Growart Field. The women's club began in 1994. Club founder Peggy Quinn saw the potential for a women's team after an introduction to the sport during a study abroad in Galway, Ireland. Word and interest spread across campus quickly. And with equipment and guidance from players on the men's team, the Fairfield Women's Rugby Club was formed. The inaugural season registered 25 players. With no funding or coach, the women's team relied on the help of seasoned players like Brian McCloskey, Andrew Knopf, Christopher Knopf, and John Boyle to teach them the mechanics of rugby and the culture off the pitch. By the spring of 1995, the women had a regular practice schedule and became increasingly familiar with the game. They booted up for their first official scrimmage on April 7, 1995, versus Sacred Heart at home, igniting a longtime rivalry and introducing themselves into the realm of collegiate rugby. With a flux of different coaches in and out over the course of the decade, the players had to step up to manage the team, proving their capacity to not only play, but to win. From running practice and scheduling matches to recruiting players, the program's first few years were sustained by the players. These years produced Hall of Fame honored players such as Colleen Paul Grinnell and Kate Dunleavy-Benthian. The highs and lows created a culture of determination and leadership, but more important, and generated a passion for the game and an indelible bond among the players. In 2004, the team found its first full-time head coach in Ryan Burge. A seasoned rugger and Fairfield graduate, Burge's discipline and deep knowledge of the game translated into a new, more strategic approach for the team. Targeted conditioning and new techniques led to better match performances. Players like Hall of Honor member Bridget Colster Enerson led the team under this new structure. Slowly, the team's gaining momentum forced the competition to take notice. In spring 2009, the team welcomed the largest rookie class of the time, with over 20 freshmen. Led by starters like Hall of Fame member Jen Manzi Bunch, the team went undefeated in that 2009 regular season, which set up big expectations for the 2010 fall season. Under Burge's leadership, and with the addition of assistant and forwards coach Steve Jones, the Ruggers displayed a strong starting lineup of returning players. They finished the second consecutive season undefeated and entered the playoffs as division leader. With a 5-0 overtime win against Sacred Heart, the team became Met New York Division III champions and qualified for the Small College National Rugby Championship tournament. New to the national level, they booted up against Bentley in a battle for the Division III title. After a fierce match that left everything out on the pitch, the Ruggers season unfortunately came to an end in the national tournament semifinal in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The team kicked off the 2011 season ranked number 2 in the National Small College Rugby Organization. After another 6-0 season, the team, comprised mainly of senior starters, including Hall of Honor members Alice Guglielmoni, Emily Barrett, and Brittany Koza, saw another opportunity at the championship title. In the playoff final against Molloy University at SUNY Maritime, the Lady Ruggers took home the Division III championship title for the second year in a row. This set them up for another shot at the Small College Rugby National Championship, this time at home against Lockhaven. A close and hard-fought match didn't line up for the Ruggers. Despite the loss, the team's accomplishments set the club up to advance to Division II in the coming years. The next few seasons saw a period of rebuilding after losing the majority of the starting lineup from the 2011 championship team. The lineup was not the only adjustment. From 2014 to 2016, the team not only moved up to Division II, but also went through 3 coaching transitions. Austin Ryan stepped in as head coach in the fall of 2015. A former Rugger at Fairfield Prep, Ryan adopted a mixed team comprised of strong seniors, including Hall of Honor members Anne Guglielmoni and Becca Panessa, and inexperienced but hungry underclassmen. Ryan's coaching methods introduced a different style and delivery that prepared players to compete at the more competitive Division II level. The Lady Ruggers transformed in those critical years and introduced a new generation of team leaders. The team sparked a new synergy at the annual four-leaf rugby tournament on Randall's Island in New York in spring 2015. New York in March welcomed the players to a waterlogged and difficult pitch, a fitting backdrop for the day ahead. Led by veteran players like Hall of Honor member Nicole Feedy, the Ruggers powered through the tournament, taking down each opponent one at a time. After 4 tiring rounds, the Lady Ruggers, sore and down players due to injuries, booted up for the championship match, fighting for every try and ultimately rose victorious at the last whistle. Leaving New York City with the championship trophy in hand, the Lady Ruggers returned to Fairfield Beach, this victory repositioning the team's trajectory in the league. The team grew more confident and capable in Division II. With the arrival of new head coach Jack Wallace, a former Fairfield Prep Rugger, the Ruggers presented themselves as a powerhouse threat in the division. The team grew from a 0-5 record in 2015 to a 5-3 finish in 2017, progressing closer to compete for the Division II championship. Along the way, the team won the Tri-State Sevens tournament and grew the roster to nearly 40 players. 2018 welcomed a new chapter for the Lady Ruggers. That year, the team finished the regular season undefeated, outscoring their opponents 228-68 and finishing first in the Division II South. Their impressive display in the regular season secured them entry into the playoffs. Impressive matches against Stony Brook, followed by Colby, underscored the ladies' proven ability and strength as a team. They went on to defeat both teams, ensuring a spot in the Division II Finals, the highest level of competition achieved in the women's club history. This historic match faced off against the Coast Guard Academy at Vassar. Despite a fierce performance, the Lady Ruggers were defeated, but not before demonstrating their skill, tenacity, and cohesiveness. That match set the standard for the future of Fairfield women's rugby. From the first starting 15 to today's lineup, one constant has remained in the team's history: love of the game. For 2.5 decades, the members of the Fairfield Women's Rugby Club have created a winning legacy and taught players to be leaders on and off the pitch. The Lady Ruggers will undoubtedly continue to break records and expectations as they usher the program into the next chapter of Fairfield Rugby.